Hey, welcome back to the VET S.O.S podcast, brought to you by the Who You Know Network and proud member of the Parade Deck community. Remember, don't drown the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S lifeline. VET S.O.S can now be heard on Reese Across America Radio on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. You can find Reese Across America Radio on the iHeartRadio app, the Odyssey app, and the TuneIn app. Find the channel by searching the word Reese. Look who's back. We got Eric back in the house with us. How you doing today, Eric?
Dude, I'm great. That's a heck of an intro, man. That's a lot of words.
Longer.
I'm really proud of you. You killed that.
Been practice. I got to do all those warm-up exercises in the mirror before we get on air.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
Yep. It's one of those.
Man. I'm good, dude.
That is awesome. So we don't have, or at least it appears we don't have a guest today, but we actually do today. It's going to be Eric and I just chit-chatting, talking about some things that are going on, some different things that are coming up. And all of the great things that he's been doing since he's been gone that I really think the audience is going to love. And hopefully we'll be able to help you spread the word a little bit here and get some more people involved.
Awesome. I love it. Let's get into it, man.
All right. So you've been gone for a couple episodes now.
Yep.
We'll call it a couple.
Too many. How's that?
Definitely too many. And Keith's done a great job filling in for you.
Yes, he has. Keith is a superstar, man.
He is. And, we got like the before and after beards going,
Yeah, that's funny.
He's got the full freedom beard going.
He does.
So
yep.
We bring on people like Jerry from InVets again. We might have to have measuring contests on air to see who has the best beard.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Line them all up.
Yeah, dude.
All right. So what have you been up to? What was the big vacation about? What were you doing?
So I don't know if anybody knows. So I am now the Georgia director of a ministry called Warriors Set Free. Warriors Set Free is an incredible organization. They started in Michigan 30 years ago. Actually, Set Free Ministry started 30 years ago. Warriors Set Free started 9 years ago. But it's an organization with a mission to help veterans, active duty folks, and first responders. We want to serve them by helping them grow their faith, heal from the past, and win in life's battles. That's really our mission statement. But in July of last year, I was brought on as the Georgia director, and it is incredible to watch God work in real time. And it has become the joy of my life to be able to sit with my brothers and sisters and essentially help them navigate, some of the crap that we've carried most of our lives, and laying it at the foot of the cross, and helping them kind of alleviate themselves from some of the, encumbering things that they've carried. But yeah, it has, I've been at different events and been invited to come to different events and talk about the ministry. So I have unfortunately been, MIA, absent, and tardy more than I would have liked. So I'll apologize publicly, to you, my brother, and to the audience. I'm so sorry. I have just been, man, it has been a full faucet turn on, for this ministry. So that's what we can. It's that's a kind of the 30,000 foot view of Eric's just been going where Eric's been called. So yeah,
it's all good because you've been working for a higher power, man. You've been doing something serious, and you know what? That I've heard you say it tons of times, and I really love the vision of it about putting our rucksack down at the foot of the cross and everything. And of course, as an Intel guy, I never had a ruck on to begin with. But, you stuff a lot in a pocket protector. But I've always loved that imagery because not only from the military side of the house, but just life in general, there's so much garbage that we accumulate and we carry with us, and really just weighs us down. And anybody who's ever carried a ruck for long distance realizes that it gets tired after a while, regardless of how much you do, unless you do the old drill sergeant trick and shove it full of pillows. But outside of that, it's just that image of doing that, I think, is just super powerful.
Yeah. And it's tough too, right? Because I think, especially when you talk about, and of course, everyone, across everyone in humanity suffers from the same things, right? We just happen to be laser focused on a specific demographic, a specific community because they're near and dear to our hearts, right? Our veterans, our active duty, and our first responders. But I think what's sometimes unique in that environment and in those communities is that we think it's a badge of honor to have all the crap that we're carrying, and but I'm still grinding, but I'm still going, and we get tricked into believing that we're still effective, right? Um, there's an obstacle that I used to love, and everybody will think I'm crazy, but I used to love doing the Weaver. Up and under, up and under, up and over as I climb, and then back down. I used to love it because I was actually good at it. But if I look at life as like the Weaver, if I'm trying to do the Weaver with a full rucksack on, man, I'm not effective. Like I'm not getting that done. And I think that sometimes when we take on that badge of honor of, but I'm still grinding, but I'm still going, I'm still surviving, I'm still here. I just think it's a huge lie of the enemy that he uses to keep you from being effective, right? To keep you from being an effective husband or a wife or a mother or father or a soldier or a leader, a community member, whatever it is, right? Just whatever he can do to keep you from being effective. And I think that what I love about our organization, what we do, first and foremost, is just loving on people and helping them see that there's a different way to combat this and to go through life. And dude, this, like I'm a walking, talking, breathing example of what happens when you do it. Like I went through my freedom appointment through Warriors Set Free in 2021, went to a 4-day men's event, and it fundamentally changed how I see the world. It changed how I interact with people. It changed how I was as a husband, as a father. But it did that, I think, because I was less encumbered, right? Life is still going to life you right in the face. You can't help that. It's going to happen. So what tools do I need to navigate that, right? And we have a podcast, Warriors Set Free Ministries has a podcast now called Rules and Tools, which is awesome. And I think we've got 2 episodes in. So they might be calling you for some pointers, Shawn. But and I'm not hosting that, by the way. But it's a great podcast.
Yet.
That's no. We've got a guy. He's great. We don't need Eric. But I think what's cool about it is a lot of us go through life and we don't know the rules, right? We don't understand what's really happening. We don't understand that although we're carrying it, and yes, we're still grinding, that it's affecting how we interact with people, or it affects our view on the world, or how it affects our view on subordinates or our spouses or whatever. And it's not until you actually lay that stuff at the foot of the cross, and here's the key: leave it there. Right? Because you can always go back and pick it back up, right? You have free will. You can go back and pick that crap back up, throw it right back in the rucksack because it's the comfortable pain that you're used to, right? But the idea is to leave it there. And so when we empty out that ruck and we lay all that crap at the foot of the cross, like that's when you realize how much more you have to give. And then as you step into, because that's all tomorrow, that's all yesterday, right? When we empty our rucksack, that we're emptying out the yesterdays of it all. So now when I look at tomorrow and I'm not wearing the ruck anymore and it's not heavy, and I know how to deal with the next thing that comes because now I've got tools, right? Man, it's powerful to sit back and realize that I've got a new path and I'm charting a new way forward.
No, it's I don't want to use the word like born again or anything like that, but it's just it's to me it's kind of like when you make that decision to retire. This whole weight just lifts off of you, and of course a whole nother weight comes on the next day when you figure out now what am I going to do? But it's by doing that, putting that down. Your life experiences have made you who you are, right?
Right.
And they've helped develop you, and they've been done for a reason to mold you for a specific purpose. But like you said, we almost become hoarders of our own
Ooh, that's good.
hoarders of our own issues
Write that
or
down.
problems or whatever, and I have a backpack for backpacking with the Boy Scouts. It's like 105 liters. I can fit a whole bunch of issues in there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's it too, right? Like sometimes it's we think it's the bigger our backpack, the cooler we are, right?
Absolutely.
The more full,
Right.
the tougher I am. And we're just falling short and we don't even see it. Yeah, that's good. I wrote that. I gotta write that down, man. I gotta write that down. I'm a hoarder from my past.
There you go.
Yeah. Whew.
Yep.
Man, that was me. You got me thinking now, dude. Like I think you're gonna make me like I'm gonna take some quiet time later on today. I'm gonna dig into that. That's a word picture that's strong, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny, because you got some things hanging on the wall. I have some things hanging on the wall, and every time I look at something that's on the wall, it triggers some sort of memory, right?
Yep.
Good, bad, or indifferent. Because there are some things on the wall
Yeah.
that are like, "Oh, I don't know why I put that up," but it's just those memories and all those things, and you start thinking about all the things that maybe you pushed down, you swallowed, you tossed it in the ruck, then as a senior non-com, right? How many of your
Yep.
soldiers' issues did you hoard, bring it in, to
Yep.
take care of that, take that off of them, and then you're wearing that now too. And I mean, it's so much, and that imagery is so powerful.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah. So I've been, man, it's been a full send, bro. God has, he has opened doors and put people in front of us, and not just people, right? Organizations. We're going to be doing a golf tournament for the very first
Nice.
fundraising thing, for us. We'll be doing that down here or in Georgia, up here, I guess, to you in Georgia. Hopefully in September, maybe early October. But, yeah, it's been about, okay, and the hard part, right? And this will, I hope this speaks to anyone who's thinking about starting their own business or kind of like a franchise or whatever they're trying to do. Like scaled growth is important, right? Like not growing too fast is important. Um, and then biblically speaking, like letting God lead and just saying, okay, you know what? My, my wife had this beautiful analogy last night. We help lead some young adult ministry at our church, and we were sitting with some of our young adults last night, and she was like, it's almost like Jesus pulls up in this car. He's like, hey man, like, do you want to ride? And you're like, no, I'll walk. Like you're gonna get there. It's just gonna be slower. Like, but do you want to ride? Like, get in the car. Do you want to ride? Just get in the car. And there's so many of us that now, and myself included, like I would have rather walked in my 20s and 30s, and I made so many mistakes doing that. Um, if we can just figure out how to just get in the car, like just get in the car, it's okay. It's funny. We were joking on the way home after she said it, and I was telling her how much I enjoyed her analogy, and I was like, it's funny because like we have jokes about like Jesus take the wheel, but we won't even get in the car. You know what I mean? Like Jesus take the wheel, but I'm not even riding. So like do what you want. That's it's you
That's
got to
funny.
kind of step back and go, hold on. What am I doing here? Right. But like I said, God's put so many people in our lives. Like I said, not just individuals to help minister to and love on, but organizations that we're coming alongside of. A lot of them outside the Fort Moore area, a lot of local organizations, which is really cool. And that's kind of the scary thing too, right? Like I went from this thing at ACP, where we had this big national stage, and I loved working for ACP. I love the team. Shout out to ACP, plug for ACP, whatever we want to do. Like if you guys have not engaged with American Corporate Partners, you're missing out on your transition. So get with them. But I
I'm
loved,
a year out of my transition. I still talk to my mentor every month.
yeah, yep, yep. Matter of fact, I just talked to my mentor, my mentor last month, and I'm like 4 years out of transition. Um, but and that's because she's in nonprofit, and so that's I was asking some questions about fundraising and stuff. But I love that role. And then when this kind of when the leadership from this organization came to me and said, hey, we want to do an expansion, we know it needs to be Georgia because of Georgia's large number of veterans, and we want you to take at the helm. Whew, man, it was one of those moments where like I had to reassess my self-worth, and what I thought of myself, because I am not a pastor, I am not a theologian. You know what I'm saying? I'm a dumb knuckle dragging grunt who loves Jesus at best, right? um but it was such a moment for me to realize that like I'm not the discarded toy, right? Like I'm not I'm not broken in so many pieces that God can't still use me. Like I am redeemed. Like I am restored. I am put back together. I'm what it looks like when God takes a dumpster fire and fixes it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me being brutally honest, dude. Like I was in this rough spot, and finding this organization for me was such a godsend. I mean, obviously, um, but then to be able to come on board and help build something here, But like I said, when you're building something, that scaled growth is important. Like letting God lead is important. So yeah, I don't remember where I was going with that. We're just riffing here. So I have no idea where I was going with that.
That dumpster fire's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot. I've shared my story. You know, I'm pretty unapologetic with my story and what's gone on in my life. But there's still pieces that I haven't shared, right? There's still stuff that is kind of just for me, but like every one of us have a story, right? Every one of us have a past. Every one of us have made good and bad decisions. But I'm a firm believer that like your story gets to be one of two things, right? It either gets to be a tragedy or it gets to be a testimony. So and that's the choice we get, right? That's the thing about being a Christian or about being a believer in God is like, but we still have free will. And so you have to make that choice. You have to choose. But yeah, no, dumpster fires, it's pretty close, bud. It's pretty close. It was touch and go there for a minute, as to whether or not Eric was going to be okay. But by God's grace, like I'm still standing here. Like I'm still doing the thing. I just
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. So what you mentioned the golf tournament. What other things do you guys have on the horizons that you're working towards or planning for the upcoming year here?
Yeah. So we've got we've already done one. We've got two more planned, but we have a 4-day men's event that we do, and it is just men right now because we're growing. Right, the goal is to get to where we have women veterans events and mill spouse events and things like that. But right now we're starting with guys. I only have one female voluntold, and that's my wife, because she's a veteran, so she's my voluntold. But she has business cards, so she's legit. But we have these 4-day men's events that we're doing. So we have the next one coming up is in August, and it's a unique experience. I'm very careful not to share like what exactly happens there, and that's not because we're trying to be secretive or weird. Truthfully, it's because I don't want expectations set that because it didn't go exactly the way like we have people that are let down. I don't want that. I also will not be the one that gets in the way of the Holy Spirit. I can tell you that when we have an event and there's 18, 20 guys there are 18 to 20 completely different experiences. They're not the same. And so I want each dude that shows up to have their own encounter. And so often what I'll tell guys is, look, here's the deal. If you want to have a face-to-face encounter with your Heavenly Father, if that's what you're looking for, show up. He'll be there. That's it. You just got to show up. But we're going to do those up in Northern Georgia. Hold on. My chair is all jacked up. It keeps sliding down little by little. I'm short enough. It's not a good look on me.
I was gonna say that too.
One of these days you got to show that picture of you and I standing at the mic together when we were on the elevator.
I didn't think you wanted that to.
I don't care, dude.
To make it public.
You're literally my biggest friend. But yes, we got the 4-day men's event. It's called a Warriors Battle. But the idea is to get together with a bunch of like-minded dudes, right? Whether they're veterans, active duty, or first responders, and to just do business with the Father, right? The staff is going to be there to set the table for you, so to speak. The idea is that we want to facilitate as many conversations between you and the Father, to do as much healing and as much growth and get as much growth as you can. And we've got some curriculum stuff. You know, we're going to talk about battle drills. That's one of my favorite teachings. We're going to talk about battle drills. We're going to talk about, okay, this is great. We've been here for 4 days. What does it look like when I go home? Because when I go home, the bottle is still there. When I go home, porn is still there. When I go home, you know, a wife that I'm not getting along with is still there. My boss is still there. Like I still have to navigate life. So how? It's great that I've been here, and yeah, God's awesome and God's all present. And he's omnipotent and all these other great things. But my life is still there, right? So we want to talk about battle drills. What are you going to do? How are you going to build a battle drill for what's coming up? You know, how life's going to life you. Like I said, it'll hit you right in the face. And so it's 4 days. It's a Wednesday through a Saturday. Finish up Saturday and send everybody home. But it's I have yet to see an event where the Holy Spirit wasn't walking, talking, and breathing right there with the guys. Like it's been incredible to watch. My son, as a matter of fact, participated in the very first event here in Georgia back in April of last year, which was just a pilot test to kind of figure out if Georgia really was what they wanted. And we called it something different then. It was called a Hero's Return. But my son participated, and I was volunteering as a staff member because my son went. And as a matter of fact, that's the event where Steve Prince, our national director, and Dean Vandermeer, our founder, cornered me in my room, and had the final conversation with me and said, "This has got to happen." So,
Cornered you.
yeah, that was quite literally. They both stood in the doorway. It was really funny, and neither one of them are small men. So I would have wrestled. We would have wrestled, but I didn't feel like I needed to go that route. But yeah, it is a powerful event. So like I said, Wednesday through Saturday, great curriculum, incredible food. We'll feed it. We feed you guys. We feed the guys really, really well. As a matter of fact, we did last time. I think we're going to have it this time as well. We'll have 2 former firefighters in the kitchen. So if we know anything about the fire community, those dudes know how to cook and eat. And so, so that's who we've got running our kitchen. So if nothing else, come up for some good chow. But yeah, that's exciting. We got one in August. Next one's in August. Then we got one in October to close out the year, and that'll make 3 for this year. And so next year we're looking at doing 1 a quarter, hitting 4, and then hopefully adding a single ladies event. That's really the goal. My sisters are important to me, and maybe more so now because my wife is one of them. Right? I've got a vested interest in the female veteran population because I've watched some of the things my wife's gone through and I know her story. But I want to make sure we're loving on our sisters too. And so that's a big push for me. That's a big push for me.
Absolutely. No, that's that to me is like completely spot on. The not just the female veterans, but then I mean we all know that the struggle the spouses go through.
100%.
And just dealing with us.
Yep.
If nothing else, that's just one piece of it. It could be a lot worse. So let's see. I think I got this to work right here. There you go. There it is.
I love that picture. Oh, that warms my heart. God, I love you, dude.
You were fighting though to get it done. You did not want to take it. I think that was right before or right after we interviewed Troxel, right?
Yeah, it was right after we interviewed John. Yeah. That was a great interview, wasn't it? That was fun.
Man, I rewatched it once and like right after the intro, you're like, dude, you're hyped. I was like all amped up, ready to go, amped up on Mountain Dew. And
yeah, I think my favorite part was John looking in the camera and just like calling out our current, like our command teams, like at all levels. Stop screwing with your dudes. Stop screwing with your people leaving the military. Love on them. Help them. Give them the space that they need. Give them the left and right latitude. Give them what they need to be successful after service. And those aren't his words, but that's essentially what he was saying. Yeah. And dude, that gave me chills.
Yeah, I'm very happy being retired, but like just listening to him, I was ready to go kid up. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm telling you, I have said this to John's face, and I've known John for a really long time. But like I've said this to his face, dude, I will follow that dude into the mouth of hell with gasoline-soaked pants on and a squirt gun. Like I'm ready. Like that dude is a leader, and I loved working for him. So I love even more being his brother now.
Yeah, that was an awesome experience, and the just the whole process, of the MIC itself was phenomenal. Yeah. Got to meet a lot of the people that I've had the honor of talking to on here face to face, which was really, really cool. And then, this year it'll be a lot closer, which is nice. I'm hoping to be able to make it. I don't know if right now there's a potential work conflict, so we'll see how that goes. But it's
I'm going to swing up. I'm going to drive up at least for a day. I gotta come up at least for a day. I might try and hit the gala. I'll talk to Cortez and see if he can hook a brother up. Cortez, I'm going to call you, bro. It's cool. Your dude still loves you.
New phone. Who this?
Yeah, right. That's what he'll say. But yeah, I'll probably drive up. I mean, it's an hour and a half drive for me, so I'll drive up and maybe catch some hugs and some high fives and stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, you got to drive past it anyway, because isn't that the same weekend as the event you were just talking about? The outdoor event.
Hold on. What day is the MIC? Did they change the dates? They did, didn't they?
End of September into October. So like you'd be leaving like the last day of the MIC, I think, heading up to the
Yeah. So I can swing up for a day.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can do a turn and burn. I can just kind of come up and walk around and say hi to everybody and then come home that night. That's easy.
Yeah. Or keep on driving north.
Or keep on driving north. Maybe that might not be a bad idea. Get up to campsite a couple of days early.
Yeah.
And I use that. Okay, let's be honest, guys. If you guys are still thinking about the Warriors battle, like, let's be honest. I spent 25 years living that infantry life. We're not sleeping on the ground, bro.
No shelter house?
No, absolutely not. We've got bunks. It's a YMCA camp. So there's bunks. There's, hard stand buildings. We eat in a really nice chow hall. There's a full chapel. I may, if the weather's decent, I might bring my hammock just because, hammock. I got a rain fly. I've got everything you need. Right. And I miss living in my hammock.
Are these 5-foot cots since it's a YMCA camp?
No, they're not cots. They're full on bunks, but yes, they're not built for big dudes. So that's the only downside. But what you get there, I think is really worth it. Like I said, I might bring my hammock and string it up between two bunks.
Nice.
But anyway, yeah, man.
Do it outside, man.
No, I don't. My wife asked me, like, when are we going to start camping? I'm like, probably not. Like, by camping, if you mean a Hilton with, a king size bed, yes, and room service.
Yep.
So
we've reached your favorite part of the show, which is where I tell you that we are just about out of time. We got about 4 minutes left or so.
Yeah.
So two things I want to know. One, how can people in the audience connect with you and get involved with Warriors Set Free? And two, what's the future look like for Eric Brew? What do where's that taking you?
Oh, you're gonna make me say it, aren't you? Oh, you jerk. You jerk. You're gonna make me say it.
Yep.
Okay, so let's handle the first part of the question. So part A, you guys, if you guys want to check out the ministry and what we're doing, it's www.warriorssetfree.org. I'm still on LinkedIn, not as much as I used to, but you can find me on LinkedIn. You can also find us on Facebook under Warriors Set Free. Warriors Set Free Georgia has a Facebook page. And then Warriors Set Free has an Instagram page. I have not dived into Instagram for us down here yet, just because that's a lot of platforms, and I'm trying to build something. So I need to make sure that that my bandwidth isn't getting exhausted. With that said, God, you're gonna make me say it. I don't like you right now. I am brokenhearted. Is probably the best way to say it. To say that this is my farewell episode, man. Keith is going to come on. Can I make that announcement? It doesn't matter. I just did. You can cut it out if you want. Whatever, dude. If you want to cut that, I completely understand. I'm going to talk just a little bit more so you have room to play with that. I'm so sorry, but you're getting a great co-host. I love that dude. But it breaks my heart. My bandwidth with trying to grow a ministry from the ground up is becoming untenable for anything else. The reason that I've had to step away is because things have come up that I've been invited to that I just can't say no to. And I can't promise that won't continue to happen in the future. And you and the listeners of this podcast deserve stuff. You guys deserve to
That's why I was going to make you do it.
I don't like you. You guys deserve to have somebody that's going to be here all the time. So I'm still going to be on the bench. Shawn has agreed to let me stay on the bench. So if he needs a last minute co-host, or if he wants to do a special episode, I have agreed. Very much. I love what Shawn is doing, brother. I love you so much. I love what you're doing. I love your heart for our brothers and sisters. You're killing it, dude. And you're doing such good work. I know you've got exciting things coming up, and you're really trying hard to put some other things together that are going to be game changers for transitioning service members. And I'm really, really proud of you, dude. But yeah, this is gonna be my farewell until Shawn decides to bring me back on as a special host. Dude, you suck, man.
Well, that's the beauty of our relationship and the bonds that we've built is like Mark, you guys, essentially what I'm referring to is the advisory board for VET S.O.S. You're still part of the team, you're still people I consult with, and you're still there if we need someone to jump in and host, which is just awesome that we're building this little family of people who really care and want to continue to give back. And I owe you a ton, man. Not only did you mentor me during transition, which is still weird to say. But you were one of the early people I talked to, and then you were also one of the early supporters of the podcast, coming on here and being a guest. And then when you came on to take Mark's place, you helped us elevate. But we're on StreamYard now. Through working with Joe, we got the fancy background and figured out how to make StreamYard really work for us. And the swag stuff and like the coins that your wife did that were just amazing. Little marketing tools and all those little things. So you helped elevate us, to that next block. And I'm not ready to make the announcement yet, but where we, like you alluded to, we are working on something right now that hopefully will be out around August, which is something that is directly a conversation you and I had and started, back in November at the MIC. In fact, I think we're in the airport.
Yep, we were
leaving the MIC.
Yep.
So I'm excited about that, dude. And it has been an absolute blast and pleasure to have you on here. And even the fact that, like, we went to Vegas and we're roommates and didn't kill each other. Like,
we had a great time.
I think we became even closer, which was just amazing. And
I agree.
So I look forward to seeing how you grow this, man. Your passion and your love and what you're able to bring to an organization, the levels of success and the impact you're going to be able to make for a much more important mission, in my opinion, is just going to be absolutely amazing to watch.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it is. Like I said earlier, it has become the joy of my life just to watch God work in real time and to watch brothers and sisters let go of the crap and walk in freedom in Christ and just be unencumbered and be the best versions of themselves they've ever been. I'm excited. And I'm really, Shawn, I appreciate all the kind words, man. Like, and I reciprocate them, dude. You're my brother. I'd lay it down for you, dude. So,
how many times have you heard an infantry guy say they'd lay it down for an intel guy?
Yeah, all day, man. All day. I'd go to war with you any time of the day, man.
Absolutely, brother. All right, man. Take us out.
All right, here we go. All right, guys. Hey, listen, man. Thanks for God, I'm gonna cry again. This is stupid. Thanks again for hanging out with us. Thanks for all the episodes that you guys watched and listened as we hung out. Thanks for putting up with my face for radio. We love you guys. And so on behalf of the VET S.O.S family, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. Make sure you follow and subscribe to us on YouTube and, of course, your favorite podcast platforms. And then last but not least, and certainly most important, remember, please do not drown in a sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S Lifeline.
All right.